Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Um, you guys are gonna have to forgive me for doing this laying down because it's the only way that I can do it, and I have to keep the lights kind of low. I have this little lantern on just so that it's not completely dark in here, so you could at least see my face. But I can't. I'm getting really a lot weaker now and a lot more sensitive to pretty much everything. So um, it is hard for me to make these videos. It's hard for me to sit up and hold the phone and try to do a professional looking job. So I'm not gonna bother trying to look professional. You guys can just forgive me for that, and hopefully the content will be what's important. So anyway, I have missed you guys. I really have. I mean, it's not like we're talking like in a room together, but I do miss the kind of interaction that this is. So um I'll try to make videos as often as I physically can, but it does get a little bit hard sometimes. So, but anyway, if you're new here, welcome to the channel, and if you are returning, thank you for the support and for the love. So I really appreciate it. This channel is very real. It's very raw. There are no pretensions at all. So you just get me in whatever state that I am. So we're all friends here. Um, Today I've been thinking a lot about what I wanted to talk about, but it's kind of hard for me to put it all together. So I'm just gonna kind of ramble and talk, and hopefully it'll make some kind of sense. Um, First of all, I want to wish everyone a happy holiday and a happy new year coming up in a couple of days. It is December 29th, 2025, for those of you who'll be watching this in the future. So hopefully everyone will have a very safe and wonderful new year. So today I want to talk about something that is kind of serious, well, very serious. Lately I have been experiencing a lot of social bullying, and I do want to talk about that a little bit, because I think that, we, as YouTubers and content creators, we do talk about it a lot, and it's good that we do, but I think that it's still not as understood as it should be. And I don't want to really go into details about what specifically happened, because I don't want to expose any identities of anybody else that was involved. I just want to talk about the dynamic of the social dynamics of the situation, and how they affect us. So there's someone in my life who has been bullying me very strongly, and this is not a person that I can get away from. It's kind of a dynamic where uh, I can't really escape from the situation. And the bullying is very much social bullying, psychological bullying, emotional bullying. And when I described it to my neuropsych, he commented and said that this was actually torturous. So it is very serious. I'm not going to get into any of the specifics, but I I just want you guys to understand that what I'm speaking of is very real, and I believe that a lot of us as neurodivergent people, autistic people in particular, I think it's very common for us to be psychologically and emotionally bullied to um to where it's even like actual psychological torture in a sense. Um and I kind of want to I'm trying to figure out like the right words to say here, so just bear with me. Um I want to explain some of the different dynamics that happen in the situation so that people can understand, because I've had people tell me, well, people can only bully you if you let them. Personally, I think that's very much a victim blaming statement, and I don't agree with it. Um, so that's how I feel about that. But what happened? What happened is that I was bullied to the point of having a massive meltdown, headbanging, screaming meltdown. And then I got bullied for having the meltdown. And then the person basically disowned me. And this is somebody that I was very, very close to. And this kind of thing is very difficult. It's very difficult to deal with because, as I've explained in some of my previous videos, I experience these things as a child because part of how my autism manifests is that emotionally, I I never developed past the age of like 4, and socially I never developed past the age of like 8 to 10. So when people treat me that way, I'm I'm literally experiencing this treatment as a very, very young child would. And it's not like I can experience it any differently than that. So the damage that is being done is very, very severe. And it's a difficult dynamic because the reason that people are bullying me is because I am communicating and doing things in an autistic way, not in a neurotypical way. And I know that that is what is happening because I mean, that is what's happening, and I don't wanna give the specifics of the situation to protect the other people involved, but I think that that's what's happening to a lot of us, is that we're not doing anything wrong. We're not doing anything that deserves the kind of treatment that we're getting, but people are treating us this way because we're doing things in a way that they don't understand. And when I try to talk to other people about what's happening to me or how people are treating me, the most common responses that I get is that I have to have patience and mercy on the bully because I am the one who is not socially acceptable, because my existence is not socially acceptable. And what I'm finding is that the more I go through this, the weaker I become, the more neurologically damaged I become, the more socially damaged I become, the more cognitively damaged I become, to the point where functioning, just basic functioning, becomes very difficult. And it's a no-win situation because it's not like I can really do anything about it. I even had a relative tell me the other day that maybe I am just not understanding the bully correctly. And maybe I am just interpreting the situation incorrectly. And I don't know. I just feel like no matter how many times I get verbally assaulted or physically assaulted or essayed or any of those things, the response is from other people is that I must be misunderstanding the situation and I have to have patience and mercy on the person or the people who are doing these things to me. And I think that this is very common for autistic people to experience. And I don't know what the solution is because everyone tries to convince me that the only solution is that I learn to not be affected by the bullying or to not be affected by the assaults. And I don't know that I have the ability to do that. And I just wish that people could take responsibility and understand that even those of us who are considered low support needs are incredibly fragile and incredibly vulnerable. And we break very, very easily because there is no help for us. There are no resources to help us. There's no protection for us. And I know for myself, I don't have the ability to protect myself. My emotional capacity is that of a 4-year-old. my social capacity is that of an 8-year-old. And when I try to explain that to people, they argue with me about it because I'm intelligent and analytical and articulate, and I can live independently and drive a car. But just because I can do those things does not mean that I have the emotional and social capacity to defend myself against bullies and social predators. But everyone believes that I have this magical ability to be okay, and I don't. And I think that many of us are in this situation. So all I can do is ask people to consider that, to consider that maybe we are not as able to survive as people think we are, just because we look like our support needs are lower. I think there's a misconception that what low support needs actually is. I don't think that our support needs are lower. I think it just appears that way to people because the things that we need support in, the supports don't exist. And nobody will create them. And so if the supports don't exist, we're told that our support needs don't exist either. I'm crying out for social protection. I'm crying out for people to understand how to relate to me emotionally, how to relate to me socially. But it's impossible for people to do that until they choose to bully me instead because they don't want to do the things that I need. And they would just rather say, well, since no one is willing to meet your needs must not exist. And therefore, we will bully you when you don't act in a way that we think you should. So I don't know. I don't know what to say or what to do, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there because I think this is a common experience for so many of us that we need to talk about it in a very real and raw way. And that's one thing I can promise you with this channel. It's going to be real. It's going to be raw because I don't have the ability to do anything else. So thank you for supporting that. But please comment if you've had similar experiences, because, and even if you haven't, please comment anyway, because this is something that people need to understand is happening. So sorry again that it took so long for me to make a video, and hopefully I'll be able to make another one sooner. And thank you for putting up with me having to lay down in the dark. But you know what? You're going to get me exactly as I am. No pretensions. Just come and hang out with me as I am. Thank you guys. Please like and subscribe.